In this video, I'm going to be giving you some of the best strats that you can use in 1v1 engagements inside of Counter-Strike 2 in these very clutch situations that can determine the entire course of the game. You will get smarter, you will get better, and we will get right into it. The first thing that you guys can do is on Tside, make sure that you plant for where you want to play, right? This is very simple, this is very basic, but it can be the biggest difference in the world that if you know that the other team is going to be rotating in through CT in a 1v1, we plant side triple here, and that opens us up to play through jungle if we think they're going to rotate around, connector, ramp, even palace, which isn't actually a bad spot to be if they plant a default, especially if you plant in a proper spot. And we can actually just take advantage of where the bomb is, right? It's very easy, it's very simple, but there is something that you can do that is actually 200 IQ that I love to do against better players, right? So at lower levels, I would definitely do this and take advantage of that, playing the bomb and playing positions where it's planted for so that you can see it when they tap and do all these things. But really high level players, what they'll actually do is they'll plant the bomb in this position, and where will they go? They're not going to go connector or jungle or ramp. They're actually going to sit in a position that it's not necessarily planted for, and they're going to wait for the tap because they know that the high level player that is coming through on retakes here is going to see, okay, bomb is planted side triple, he probably went ramp or, somewhere else, and they're not going to clear some of these other spots. It's one of my favorite things to do because it's very easy, and you can actually just hold an angle and kill them as they're running across. Or if you want to play it super safe, you sit in a position where crouched here. As you hear them running and about to tap it, we jump up here and just kill them and win the round, right? You can do this type of stuff across the board on any map. You see a lot on B-Site Mirage here. Someone might plant for apps, but then actually walk through market because they think the opponent's going to go through cat or flank, and it's so good. It's literally so effective. It works way more than it should. And definitely something you should be thinking about. Now, before we get into the next tips, let me give you a message from the sponsor of today's video. Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, KOJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description. Alright guys, so the next thing that you need to be able to do in these 1v1s, specifically on Tside, is be able to play mind games, right? One of my favorite things to do when we are in this palace position, say the bomb's planted for us default here, is if I have a flash or any util, I am going to use that to try to pressure my opponent, right? So if I'm in palace, it's planted default, no smokes down, I'm gonna flash and make noise. I'm gonna make noise like I'm peeking. He hears me through the flash, he hears my footsteps. Most players, when they hear all of this, they are going to get off the bomb because of all this pressure and they hear your noise, right? Now, I will give a disclaimer, at lower levels, sometimes it just doesn't work because players don't get what's going on. But if you can provide these fake audio cues of these footsteps, the flashes, all these things, and one of my favorite tricks is actually, if it's planted default, they just tap the bomb, coming out here and shooting the wall. We're not exposing ourselves, but we're shooting the wall because they start to think, oh, he's peeking me. He's shooting, I hear noise, he's running, and it's so effective. It's so good, and it's something that pros are doing every time that you should be utilizing. Now, another concept you need to understand is knowing if they have a kit or not. We're never going to know 100% for certain, right? But sometimes we will, based on information our teammates give us, based on, just the economy of their side, right? My favorite thing to do though is to mentally take note of when they tap the bomb and when they could be defusing, right? It's really easy when they don't have a kit because they tap the bomb, fine, you can just sit here, right? We sit here, we wait 6 or 7 seconds. After that time, we run out then and try to kill them or get them off, right? If it's 5 seconds, you should peek around 3 seconds, I'd say, is a sweet spot where they think they're gonna keep defusing and they want to stick it because they're almost there, and it's really good pressure. But just understanding that we don't necessarily need to peek them before that time is up. Now, it's very complex though, because at the end of the day, pros know this, right? So pros know that you're probably going to peek at 3 seconds. So a really good one, after they tap the bomb on CT side, they're going to like crouch in this angle. If they think you're ramp or something, they're going to crouch over here to try to catch the angle of you off, right? So they know you're going to be peeking the bomb. So they're crouching out to your right side here so that when you go to peek, they're shooting you from the side and you're caught off and you're like, oh, and this might have happened to you guys before because it's very good. I've seen pros do this all the time. It's something to think about. So on Tside, one thing that you can do when you're playing high level players is you're just sitting on this wall, and the second he taps it, you peek out, right? Or an even higher level thing, and I know this might be overwhelming because we're going through like every different situation, but it doesn't matter because as long as you think about one of these and just do it, you'll be in control. What super high level players do is they know where they planted the bomb, and the second they start to hear the person running, they go to peek out here, because what are they trying to catch off? They're trying to catch the timing where the person has to come down to tap and then look back up, right, when they're defusing. So it's so important to be able to find these timings and catch them off, because it is so effective, right? And wow, I didn't think we were gonna get so in depth, but I kept thinking of more and more ideas. But yeah, so on Tside, that's some really important things to do. Very common positions, very, you know, unique stuff that you can take advantage of. Let's go ahead and hop over to the CT side so we can talk about some CT side strats more specifically, right? So the first thing that you need to understand in 1v1 situations, especially in post plants as a CT, is we need to identify where the bomb is planted for, right? That again, flipping the script, is our first priority, is understanding where is bomb and where do we think they're going to play off that. This can be through the tendencies of the player, how the game's going, or, you know, just using your intuition, right? But regardless, whatever happens, we have to be able to use our utility in these retakes, right? On CT side, utility is your best friend because it allows you to put so much pressure on the other team, right? So say bomb is planted here, their other team we know is playing CT, right? We find ourselves in this 1v1 situation. If you are not using a smoke grenades are by far the most important thing that you have. If you're not using a smoke grenade, you are trolling, right? Why do we need to drop this down? Because look, from his perspective, it is so much harder to visualize where the bomb is. He doesn't know if you're on it or off. If you don't use the smoke grenade, you are trolling. Use it every single time that you can, and just be careful about it, right? Don't be the noob that sits out here and drops it right on your feet like this. Guys, have some intention with it. If he's CT and bombs down here, don't be afraid to throw a ploofier one out here like this just so you're not exposed. But my favorite thing to do in these situations is to tap the bomb, right? If I have time, I'm pretty much always tapping because it puts so much pressure on this person. And even if they don't necessarily go to spam right away, they might start to get antsy and kind of open themselves up, and that's when you can get easy frags. This stuff works against the lowest level players all the way up to the highest level players. Tapping that bomb when you have time is 100% what you've got to do, right? Another next level thing I'll do in this situation is I'll throw a smoke down. I'll tap the bomb with a flash out. So I tap it, throw my flash, turn, and then that always gets them because they're like, he smoked, he flashed, he tapped it, he's got to be sticking it. There's no way, right? So I love doing this. I love utilizing that. This is the most important thing to do when you know where they are, right? The biggest thing is we don't want to get caught out throwing util. So if you don't know where they are, be a little cautious. I'd recommend clearing common angles first before you do anything and then getting into it. But that is by far like the most effective thing you can do on CT side is using that smoke, right? So another very useful thing that we can take advantage of, and I guess we'll go back over to A site here because it's simpler, is, you know, say we know they're in A ramp now, right? We're gonna flip this again just so I can give you guys fresh scenarios, fresh situations. If we know they're in A ramp, right, a really effective thing you can do as well is instead of like smoking bomb, you can actually like sit here and make sure we're not exposed and smoke ramp, right? Ramp smoked off. And we can sit here and throw a flash. Okay, well, don't doink it off of that. Throw a flash into ramp here. Boom. As it pops, we tap it. Because if they're sitting behind the smoke, they may not be ready for that flash. And even if they're trying to phase or go through, they're going to get full blinded, right? They're going to get full blinded. And the noise and the blinding effect makes it so you can't hear the diffuse. And even if they do, it's so chaotic with the smoke and the flash that it makes it really hard for them, right? So one thing you can take advantage of is that pressure. And wherever you are diffusing the bomb, try to look at that area, right? So don't defuse the bomb if you think they're ramped by looking this way, right? Unless you're just trying to literally be unheadshotable, right? But in general, if we're defusing, we want to look at the direction. So we're defusing down here because if he does run out on us, we can snap up and kill him, right? Snap up and kill. So these are some really important concepts to think about. We couldn't even come close to all the different scenarios and situations you could be in. If this video does get support and does pop off, I am so down to make another video because there's so many cool tricks and tips that we can get into, but at least these are the basics that you should be utilizing. and it's stuff that's very helpful. It's stuff that's helped me find a lot of success. Maybe we can go through some of the mind games in the next video if we do another one of these, because there's so many cool mind games you can play on your opponent. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys have been crushing it recently. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's keep going to 25k subscribers. If you made it to this point in the video, go ahead and comment down your favorite map to play. What is your favorite map to play on? I'm very curious. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's keep grinding. Peace out.